Hey, Dave, thanks for being with us.
No problem. We're all fighting this fight right now. So
Yes, we sure are. And speaking of, you put yourself in the bucket with millions of Americans that are still highly skeptical of that miraculous shift we saw for Biden on election night. And of the 73 million that voted for President Trump, we now know that 70% do not believe that Biden won a fair and free election. What is your main concern at this moment?
the main concern is if the Republicans don't get behind Trump and follow through with counting every legal vote and going through the process, most of the people that I'm talking to are done. They're done voting because they don't feel like their vote counts. If we don't make sure that we have these election integrity issues solved, then everybody's vote doesn't count. I mean, that's the real crux of it.
Well, that brings us to your new op-ed piece. Republicans risk new wave of apathy in future races if election integrity is ignored. So, Dave, this is dangerous. If Americans lose interest in voting because they can't trust their vote will actually count, who would have thought the day would come that we are even discussing this in the United States of America? But what really are the next steps moving forward as far as getting the American people to trust the result?
For Republicans, especially, this is a seminal moment because if they don't get to the bottom of this, and it looks like this just gets glossed over, and they produce evidence, and nothing happens from that evidence. You're going to have people. This is my prediction. You're going to have a wave of apathy, unless Trump were to run again in 2024. But even then, how do we know our votes are being counted? I mean, really, at the end of the day, for Americans who don't think that it does any good to vote because the election can be stolen, you're going to see people stay home and not vote and just check out of the system. I'm already hearing that from people today. And I think that even as Democrats, if they're happy with the way they think this election turned out, just put the shoe on the other foot because it could happen. An election integrity issue is really not a Republican or a Democratic issue. It's an American issue. And I just can't imagine that the media and other Americans, no matter what political stripe they are, wouldn't be concerned about this overall.
And speaking of the media, we had a press conference that took place Thursday afternoon with President Trump's lawyers presenting very real concerns regarding our election integrity. And the mainstream media, they did not even air 10 minutes of that conference. I get it. Asking a network to air a full hour and a half is pushing it. But 10 minutes, half an hour, is that not their duty? This is not a red versus blue issue here. This is about our election integrity. And that was a bit unforgivable.
Talking about the core of our American constitutional republic, the right to vote, the thing people have died for since 1776, and for them not to cover the potential to hear the evidence that could be a systemic voter integrity issue throughout the United States that swings an election is unbelievable to me. And I don't care what side of what political stripe you are. That's an American issue.
These issues have to be priority. If you can't vote and if your vote is not counted, we no longer have a republic, as you've stated in your op-ed. So for our country's sake, I hope your predictions are wrong. But thank you so much for breaking this down with us.
I appreciate everything you guys do. You guys are on the front end. And, God bless you for doing what y'all do.